It's that Lil Chico Pitbull, Mr. 305, better said Mr. Worldwide. Put it down right now with DJ Anarchy and the Tropical Takeover. Globalization, Channel 13, darling.
Welcome to the Tropical Takeover show with yours truly, DJ Anarchy. And you already know, this is the show where I feature all the hottest artists from all around the globe. And today I got a very beautiful, very talented, and very interesting female artist joining me live all the way from Korea. Who am I talking about? The one and only Lil Cherry. Wagwan, what's up?
Oh, thank you, Paksu. Oh, thank you, bro. That was a great intro. I go by Lil Cherry, coming to you live from Seoul, Korea. This is where I started making music. This is my home. This is where I was born. I lived here till I was 7. Then I moved to Miami. Then I came back here actually to graduate high school. Then I went back to the States, to New York, to study poetry at NYU. And during my junior year of school, that's when I started making music. And that was back in 2017. And I've been making music ever since. I feel super blessed right now to be here, man. Thank you for inviting me.
It's crazy and unbelievable how technology connects us all, right? Because I would never thought that I'd see the day I'll be actually interviewing South Korean artists all the way in Korea.
Oh, for sure. Oh, is this your first one with a artist from Korea?
You are my first ever like Korean artist. So it's all love. So you said you started doing music in your junior year, right?
It actually hasn't been that long. So how it started was I've been writing poetry since high school. I was super into poetry slam. And so I decided to keep going with my poetry in college. And then I decided to take a little break from school. So I flew back here to Korea. And the day after I got back, I went to my brother's room, my older brother. His name is Buddha. And he had turned his room into a studio. And he sat me down and he played me a bunch of beats that he had been producing. And he asked me to freestyle on one of his beats. So I took out some of the poems that I had been writing in school. I started adding melodies to it, started singing it, played around with the autotune, and that's how I started making music. And that was like 3-4 years ago.
So how would you describe your musical style?
It's a mix of so many different influences because of, all the different places I grew up in. So you can definitely hear that influence coming from Miami, but also a lot of K-pop influence too, in our visuals. And I'd say even the type of language and the accent I have is such a mix of everywhere that I lived. Definitely hip hop is the main umbrella, but we've been experimenting with all kinds of genres. So I would say our motto with music is always to bring the fun back. So we try not to, we meaning me and my brother, because I make all my music with him. We try not to have any boundaries over what kind of genres we want to experiment with. So yeah, that's the best I can describe it for you.
So I know you said you just started like 3 years ago, right? But I've actually been looking at your YouTube channel and you've been doing some crazy numbers. So tell me, what are some of the highlights in your music career, even though you've been doing it for only like 3 years?
Right. I would say the first song I ever made in my brother's studio was the first song I ever released, called Motorola. And ever since we released the music video for that, a lot of dope artists here have been hitting us up. So I'd say that'll always be the most meaningful one I ever made, just because it's the only song where I didn't really think about it. I didn't even understand the process of song making at the time. I just freestyled it. So I feel like there's some kind of pure energy in that song that I can never quite repeat again. But other than that, I would say the song called Mukbang blew up on TikTok a couple months back. So that was a huge milestone for me because, I did start my music career here, but I'm a bit more comfortable with English. So having a lot of the fans now in the States feel connected to my music, that definitely was the next level shit right there. Because, you know, here, I mean, actually though, even in Korea, I was surprised before the Rona when we had shows, I would see the fans singing and rapping along to the music, even though, you know, they don't necessarily speak English, right? So I'd say, yeah, mukbang and kind of opening up a new chapter in the States with that song was definitely the biggest milestone for me this year.
You said you lived in the States for a while and then you moved back to South Korea, right? So tell me, how was the music and the party scene different from America compared to South Korea?
Well, this is based on before the pandemic, because we're not, you know, back to having regular shows like before yet. But I would say definitely in Korea, fans are excited to come with their cameras and their phones, and they want to really archive the show. That's how they enjoy it. They take out their phones and they want to videotape this moment and remember it forever. Whereas in the States, or even when I got a chance to perform out in Ukraine, people are too busy. People are mostly busy dancing. Sometimes it's to the point like they're not even looking at me performing on stage because they're having so much fun dancing together. So I would say that's one of the biggest differences I felt, because we threw shows in Korea and we kind of let the fans know, hey, everybody, put your phones down. This time we're all gonna like hold hands and jump up and down and dance together. That I realized that was kind of a breakthrough for a lot of the fans because they had never experienced that before.
That's actually something I think a lot of artists could take notes and start doing, you know, because I mean, you would go to like a very lit concert, as you say, and everybody is just like standing there, just videotaping. So, okay, like, what's the point if you come into the concert then? You see what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna turn up and you ain't gonna party, like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? So Cherry, tell me about your swag. Again, I said I've been looking at your YouTube, and I must compliment you on your swag. I don't know, it's just something about artists out there in like Korea and on that side of the world. Your swag is just so futuristic and so dope.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I would say I owe a lot of it to my mama, because even today, she styled me today. I rely on her a lot, actually, for a lot of my visuals, even including planning music videos. Like, she'll throw out some crazy ideas, and she actually majored in piano, in song making, but her real dream was to actually be in the fashion industry and design. So when I started making music, it's been kind of a family business. Like, and I'm super fortunate for that, because I rely on her a lot for all kinds of advice. Even when I make a new song, I'll let my mom hear it probably the first before anybody else, because I don't know, I trust her taste more than my own sometimes. This goes out to her today. Yes,
shout out to Mama. And that's really beautiful, you know, the fact that she's actually living her dream of being a designer stylist through you, you know. And me personally, I think I need to hire Mama, because I need some fashion tips. I need some swag. Look, all I wear is black, white. I need some spice in my life for 2022. So, Mama, I'm going to be hitting you up for some tips.
I'm gonna let my mama know.
All right, Cherry. So let's get into the new song. You got a brand new release. It's called PYE LIFE. All right. And it's with Nigerian producer London. So my first question is, how did you connect with London?
Well, so over the pandemic, I became a huge fan of artists like Alpha P. I fell in love with his song Paloma that released like a year ago, and artists like Rema and Wizkid. And I think I was even more drawn to those sounds of Afrobeats during this pandemic, because while our world is feeling so much turbulence and anxiety, like I think even for me, I started searching out for those healing and peaceful sounds. So I started listening to their music on repeat, and then, you know, then I looked into who's the producer, the genius behind these songs, and then I learned that it's London. So my team helped me reach out to him, and I couldn't get to meet him yet because of the Rona, but we've been emailing. Like, actually, we made this song around this time of the year last year. Yeah, what a blessing to get a chance to work with him. Like, I remember he sent over a few beats, but this one for PYE Life, as soon as I heard it, I knew it would ring in a lot of people's hearts as well.
I feel it too. So actually listen to the song, and I love it, right? So what I want to know is what's the meaning of PYE Life?
Right. Okay, so PYE and PYE Life, that's a universe basically that I built with me and my fans, my PYE gang, right? And I would say PYE is a chant, it's a lifestyle, and the best part of it is it's a way for me and my fans to stay connected, right? So to give you a little history of PYE, since my name's Lil Cherry, I started calling my fans Big Cherry Pie, right? And this pie is like, it means everyone gets a slice, right? Like the more you divide them up, like there's a old saying in Korean, and it goes, 콩 하나라도 사이좋게 나눠 먹으자, which means even a bean, we can split it and share it amongst each other, amongst all of us. It basically symbolizes here, this is sort of our own utopian world where everyone gets a slice. And then the value of pi, like PI, the number like 3.1415, it goes on till eternity. So that also symbolizes like my forever promise with my fans to always stay connected through this PYE life, and always, sharing music with them. And we also, last point, it's a long explanation. Last thing, when you say PYE, you got to show your teeth. You got to smile. It's a hopeful and positive reminder for all of us to smile. And I especially love connecting in this way with my fans in Korea, because my Korean isn't the best. And also Korean fans tend to be shy sometimes. So, when we see each other in the streets and they're a bit shy about like approaching me, I just say PYE, and then they say PYE, and it's, yeah, exactly. And that's how we've been, staying connected basically. For the past few years, we've been yelling at each other at shows, saying PYE, and finally I put it into, a song form. So this is PYE Life.
PYE Life, I rock with it. So, Lil Cherry, what we're going to do, I'm going to have you officially introduce PYE Life to all my listeners right now, live on Pitbull's Globalization, SiriusXM, channel 13, with yours truly, DJ Anarchy. Cherry, take it away.
Yes, sir, everybody. Y'all been listening to PYE Life. 여러분 현재 PYE Life 시청 중이십니다. I'm gonna send everybody big love from Seoul, Korea. I'm out here. Hopefully I get to see you guys real soon at a show. Love you guys.
DJ Anarchy.